My name is Dave Davidson, and in this episode, we're gonna go back to basics, and just like the pros do, we're going to build up to advanced skills on everything with climbing. This is a 5-part series, and in this episode, we're gonna focus just on climbing. I promise you, by the end of this episode, you're going to find things that you've never heard before, and I'm gonna make it as easy as putting on a helmet. Now, the first thing you're gonna need to do, find a nice, easy uphill that's gentle, that definitely requires a full face helmet, obviously. Now, I'm going to solve the biggest problem and frustration that riders complain to me about, which is we all hate bumping into something on the way up a hill and it stops our momentum and we gotta get off and climb. It's just kind of annoying and embarrassing. I'm gonna fix that in this episode once and for all. The first thing you need to do is you need to have even chain tension the entire way up. We want to do the best method, big, even, smooth tempo. When I say big, that means we're gonna do big circles with the pedals. We're gonna do even pressure in the chain, and we're going to use smooth tempo to pedal up the hill. So when you do this, you wanna feel exactly how even you can make the chain tension go. Next, what you're gonna wanna do is shift up and down and keep the same amount of tension in the chain. There's a downshift, upshift, and try to keep that tension in the chain the same the whole way. This is gonna come in handy when we add in some obstacles, so don't skip this step. By shifting up and down a few times, focusing on the tension in the chain, what we can do is we can learn how to really make sure that we're delivering the same amount of power the entire way up the hill. People get this wrong all the time when they pedal too fast and they just pump their feet like this. It's kind of like driving on the highway and you just pump the gas pedal in and out. Number one, it wears out your engine, and number two, it makes for a really rough ride. And number three, specifically with mountain biking, this is going to make it tough for you to climb over things and then keep your momentum going. In other words, we want smooth power going up, kind of like having gravity always pulling us on the downhills. Let's get it. All right, so I promised you guys some real pro tips. So this one comes straight from Kevin, who is been coaching for 22 years. He's kept on pace with Richie Rude in sections of the EWS. And if you want to get up something like this with extra power, instead of pedaling straight down this line here, pretend to rip the pedal off that way with your feet while you pedal on the downstroke. So we're going to be twisting like this on the pedal, and you should feel it in your glute. And give it a try where every time you pedal down, you rip that thing off and you'll feel it in the glutes, which is pretty cool because what this does is it's going to engage more of your musculature. You can even wheelie up things in a really low gear like this. Now real quick, what happens if you're climbing and you lose momentum and you need to bail? Let's cover 2 different easy ways to get off the bike safely and not crash. Number one is we want to stop using both brakes and then look to the side and step off. Both brakes, look to the side and step off. In this way, it keeps you from falling backwards or off the side of the bike. And think about if there was a cliff right over there, I wanna make sure I don't fall that way. So I'm always gonna look with my eyes and find the foot on the uphill side and lean towards that, keeping both of my brakes on, and then I can step off to the side or step off the back of the bike. How to bail safely, number 2. This one's really good if the trail ever gets super steep and your front wheel's up really, really high and you wanna make sure not fall backwards. You can do it on purpose. Number 1 is we wanna use our brakes, we wanna jump back, and then we wanna bop our hands together like this. Obviously not perfectly together, but this way, it keeps the bike from falling onto me, and I've got the back brake engaged so the bike isn't rolling under me. That's my back brake. If you are in Europe, it's gonna be like this. See you later. Our next skill is gonna be floating up over obstacles, like this one, over a hill. I want you to go find something that's small, not something big. In order to do something big, you have to do it on something small and ace and master that concept of chain tension being even and then absorbing this bump so that we can progress to the next step. Let's hit it. I almost forgot to say, the pro tip here is when it's rocky and rooty, you gotta float your booty. First try, I want you to do that even chain tension drill, nice and smooth. Bump into that obstacle, that rock, and roll over. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but I did allow for my butt to slide ever so slightly. And I was actually not trying to do that. I was trying to keep it real and stay connected with the bike. That's the next level. So what you want to do is make sure you're staying connected with the bike and feel how the back tire pops you up and over. Now what's different is I want you to do the same even chain tension, but just float your booty above the saddle by half an inch, quarter inch. So what floating your booty is you literally just stand up. And the key is you have to maintain that even chain tension. You might find that shifting into a more difficult gear can help. And you can see how slow you can go without losing momentum just by floating the booty and maintaining that even chain tension. Watch closely. What you're going to notice when you try this is how it feels. It feels like there's equal tension in the chain, but you might have to move your legs up and down with respect to your body, like that. What can be challenging about this is our power delivery and our pedal position. So you don't really have as much power in this position right here. And if you're stuck on the pedal and you're getting bucked over, you might lose your footing and it'll pop off. And another thing that this drill will help you with is keeping your momentum when you're bumping into stuff. So pretty basic, but let's take it to the next level. Now that you can float over an obstacle with even chain tension, let's lift the front wheel over the obstacle so we can progress to bigger and bigger obstacles. Lose my cool card for a second, and I'm gonna demonstrate. You could just go like this. Imagine I'm an angry gorilla pounding the ground. So it's really just kind of like 3 steps. You can try this. You can try this quite easily from the side of your bike. Just watch to make sure your pedals are out of the way so you don't skin your shin. And I'm gonna add a little bit of pressure to the handlebars and then like that. So down, pressure, rebound, slam down. Now the key with this one is timing. You gotta get your timing right with the gorilla bump. You can't do this once you're already on the top. You have to initiate this before you get to the obstacle on the climb. So for example, if that is my obstacle on the climb, I'm gonna go like this to time it where I get the front wheel up and over the obstacle and I don't run into it at all. My favorite way to tell you how to progress this is just do this on everything until you can get it really, really smooth like that, where there's not a lot of motion. Because if there's not a lot of motion, you're not wasting a lot of energy and you can have a lot more fun that way. Another way to climb over obstacles while going uphill is by doing a little bit of a torso duck and pulling on the bars. You're going to have to watch this one really closely because it's a hyper efficient move that once you get right, doesn't really require a lot of inputs. So I do recommend it for smaller bumps like this one when you're going fast. And so what we're gonna do is we're going to lower our torso and lift the bike at the same time like this, and then push down on the backside of the obstacle like that. If you watch closely in super slow-mo, you're not going to see me moving too much. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to keep equal pressure in the chain the whole time, and I'm trying to keep equal pressure in the front tire the whole time. So when I drop my torso and pull on the bars, because I'm heavier than the leverage of my bike, the front wheel will unweight in the tires. Now this depends on the kind of bike you ride. If you're riding a fully rigid bike, then it's going to be very direct feedback and you're not going to be able to move very much and the tire will move a lot. If you're on a really long travel bike, then you may expect less unweighting of the front tire. So keep in mind how much you need to input the bike. Let's go. As you can see, it's pretty nuanced. Now the key here, watch that again, and you're going to see where my eyes go. It's very important you don't look down at the rock when you do this. You almost have to feel and anticipate where the rock is as you go over it. So here I'm looking at the rock. Now I'm looking down the trail. You might have seen a little bit of goofy arm movement there because my timing wasn't perfect. Even tension in the chain, drop the torso and pull on the bars ever so slightly to get the front to climb over. Watch it again really closely. As soon as the front tire goes over the back, I start pedaling, and that is to amplify the momentum of the back tire to get it to roll over, and then I float my booty to make sure I've got room. Very important distinction there. So if you're struggling on any of this, I would go back to a straight uphill with no obstacles and just practice floating the booty, even chain tension all the way up, and then add back in these obstacles. One more time, just for fun. You may notice that on that one, I froze my pedaling for a moment. Imagine if this was a foot tall. That's a great technique to pause our pedaling and do what's called a ratchet, which is just like we're stopping and then doing a partial pedal, or just pausing over the top of the obstacle so that we can clear it and our tire hits it and our pedal does not. Now, obviously, this is a pretty easy obstacle and this is a pretty chill trail. But what do you do if it's really steep? And that's a really big thing. Well, you got to practice this here first to take it big. But what we can do is you can combine the Gorilla Bump with aggressive pedaling to lift the front wheel as well. So let's combine those. So what we're going to do is we're going to pedal evenly, bump and pedal hard. So what this does is, as you can see watching the replay, it just gives you a little bit of extra float in the front tire, which means you can do bigger obstacles. Man, so we're talking about a bag of tricks. Leave a like so far if you've seen something that's helped you, and share this with another rider. And I gotta talk to you about this because once you've gotten all three of these skills, you can combine them all and climb over pretty much anything. We're not quite there yet, but let's take a pause and combine these three skills. So we're gonna be Gorilla Bump, adding in some pedaling, and also ducking the torso. And when we combine all three, we get the front wheel over, but we land the front wheel on the back side of this obstacle. So what it does is we're using our pedaling for forward momentum here. We're not paying the price of the uphill by lifting it over. And then when we slam the tire on that side, it's gonna shoot us forward a little bit. Let's see if I can even do it on the first try. I might actually need like a bigger obstacle to really demonstrate that, but I mean, you get the idea. You can combine all three of these and it's pretty rad. Okay. I'm ready to not mess around on such a tiny, little, easy, beautiful, I really like this rock, but I don't want to ride this rock anymore. So let's go do some cooler, bigger stuff. Now, have you ever wondered how to climb anything really big and really steep without stopping? Here's my pro tip for you. Now that you know how to lift your front wheel, now that you know how to unweight the front wheel and you've got some options, the next level is called momentum before mountains. Momentum before mountains is a strategy we use for when to pedal and when to pump and when to make our momentum go faster so that we don't lose speed on really steep stuff. Now, if you start speeding up, by the time the trail gets really steep, then it's already too late, because when you come into a really steep section with regular or low speed, you're going to have less momentum, and the steeper section takes more of that momentum away, and you got to pedal really hard, and it's kind of like fighting an uphill battle, no pun intended. That was, I mean, my son tells better dad jokes than that. I better not quit my day job. Now I want to give you a bonus pro tip because I promise this would be really good. And I want to show you how to get hidden speed going uphill. Now I've done a full video breakdown of this, so I'll include the link up here, but we're going to talk very simply about torso tracking. This is the best way to get hidden speed. And so if you think about your bike and your body like two separate things that ride together, if I stay with my bike and I go uphill and I'm rocking like this and I'm climbing like this, then I'm staying connected with the bike, my momentum is attached to the bike. And so what I want to do is I want to decouple my momentum from the bike. So torso tracking, what we do is we're taking our momentum and we're lurching our body up and leaving the bike behind. And then once you get your body up where it's about to need to be, then you bring the bike along. And because the body is heavier, I weigh 190 pounds, probably about 197 or 198 fully kitted up. And my bike weighs probably 35. That means that I've got something that's about 6 times less heavy than me that I can pull up very easily. And so I can do that with like a punch, or I can, rear wheel lift my way up things. Now, what I want you to really consider though, is when you're on a climb, some of these obstacles are smaller than like a big jump like this one. And so we can do a smaller version of this torso tracking by lurching the body up and forward, or by standing up and forward just a little bit, just a couple inches. Another way to use torso tracking, you don't necessarily have to pedal for this one, is the uphill pump. I'm gonna demonstrate that right here. Slow down and watch really, really closely, as what I do is I put my torso where it's about to need to be before I get there, and then I do it again on the second miniature uphill pump. And again, you can do this over 2 individual routes or 2 individual rocks or a roller like this one, and you can get the same exact effect going uphill as if you're pumping downhill or just pumping on flat ground. Now, you want the real tip for this is just make the tires really loud right before you're about to go uphill. And if you have very little time, like a very, very short together type of pump like this one, then what you can do is just pump the front tire down and your back tire generally will follow. You're not gonna get as much force out of it, but hey, at least it's a little bit, and every little bit matters when you're trying to go fast. Again, if this is helping you right now, go ahead and drop a like, drop a comment, and share this with a riding buddy. Let's get this out to as many people as we can. And now let's talk about how to take this to hard mode. Hard mode is where we've got everything. We've got rocks, we've got roots, it's uphill. It's hard to keep our momentum. There's big obstacles in the middle of it. And my goodness, if you fall off, then you might actually get hurt, or worse, you might just have to go around something, which is way worse than getting hurt, right? So this means we've got to incorporate momentum before mountains. We've got to incorporate big, even, smooth tempo to keep the chain equal tension. We've got to use Rocky and Rudy to float our booty. We've got to use torso tracking. We've got to lift the front wheel. We've got to use weighting and unweighting, gorilla bumping, all of this stuff. And we got to do all of it without thinking about it. So it can be a little bit challenging. So the main thing I want you to remember is have fun, smile. Bikes are awesome. Anybody can do this with enough practice. This is the type of skill that really the only athleticism that you need is just some good stability, good leg strength, good core strength, and a lot of practice, and you can do it. Now, if this video is helping you, congratulations, you're one of us. A subscription means that you're part of the movement to solve the progression problem. Really proud of you guys, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks.